Hello students, I am Jitendra Choyal and welcome back to my class. Today I am present here in front of you with the same chapter, the address. Okay, and this will be the third part of that chapter. Two parts we already have discussed. Okay, so in the previous part, in second part, we discussed that the narrator went to Mrs. Dawling's house second time and she couldn't find Mrs. Dawling there, and instead she found Mrs. Dawling's daughter, who was 15 years old. She welcomed her very well. Okay, and she greeted her, she offered her tea, and then they discussed about the things which were present there in the house. And now narrator was very much familiar with the things which were present, which were kept in the house, which were arranged in the house, and the way those things were arranged in the house, narrator didn't like that way. Okay, and now that girl, the daughter of Mrs. Dawling, she was pointing towards those things, that they had many more antique things in the house, and she was pointing in the house. She was trying to show those things to the narrator, but the narrator was already familiar with those things, so she did not she need not to pay any attention towards her pointing or towards those things, right? Now next, I had found we use it. Now the girl told, the little girl, the girl of 15 years, Mrs. Dawling's daughter, she told, we use it for everything. She said, once we even eat of the plates hanging there on the wall. I wanted to so much, but it wasn't anything special. Okay, now what happened? They used all those things, all those antique things which were antique for the narrator and her mother. But now here Mrs. Dawling is using all those things. She is using them regularly. Okay, now the girl is saying that they used all those things, and once even the plates which were very antique and those were hanging there, so she pointed towards those plates and she told once they ate in those plates also, because this young girl, she wanted to have food in those plates. Okay, she was very much interested and she wanted to have food in those plates. Okay, so, and she had, but then she found that those plates were not so important, not so special as she was thinking. After having food, she found that those plates were normal plates and there was nothing special in those plates, right? Now I had found the burn mark on the tablecloth. The girl looked questioningly at me, and meanwhile the narrator was trying to find out, the narrator was looking at the tablecloth searchingly, and finally she found the burn mark on the woolen tablecloth. Okay, as she found that burn mark on the woolen tablecloth, the girl, Mrs. Dawling's daughter, she looked at the narrator questioningly. Means a kind of question lingered in the daughter's mind, in Mrs. Dawling's daughter's mind. Okay, but she didn't ask that. Yes, I said, you get so used to touching all these lovely things in the house, you hardly look at them anymore. Okay, now the narrator said to that girl that you have got so used to of these things that you hardly even look at those things. You are even not interested in looking at those things because you have got used to. You have got habitual of those things. That's why you don't want to see, you don't want to look at those things now. Okay, you only notice when something is missing because it has to be repaired or because you have lent it, for example. Okay, now narrator told that if the things are with you, this happens in our life also. If the things are with us, if the people are with us, we get habitual of those people, those things, and we don't consider, we don't understand their importance in our life as long as they are with us. If those things are parted with us, if those people are parted with us, then only we understand their importance. Okay, so the narrator is saying the same thing. You pay notice, or you take notice when something is missing. If something is missing in your life, then only you will pay attention towards that thing, and if it is available with you, if it is present with you, then you won't pay any special attention, right? because it has to be repaired or because you have lent it, for example. Now next, again I heard the unnatural sound of my voice and I went on. Okay, again the narrator heard some sound, some voice, her inner voice she heard. Okay, and she went on. And what did the narrator's inner voice say? See, I remembered my mother once asked me if I would help her polish the silver. Now she remembered, now she went into the flashback and she is remembering her mother's words. Once her mother asked her to help her in polishing the silvers. Silvers here means the spoons, knives and forks which were made of silver. Spoons, knives and forks which were made of silver. So her mother, narrator's mother, asked her to help her in polishing those silvers. Okay, in polishing means in cleaning them in this way, right? So she asked the narrator's help. Okay, and then what happened? It was a very long time ago and I was probably bored that day, or perhaps I had to stay at home because I was ill. Okay, and it was this happened a long time ago. Okay, and she was very much bored of that thing. Okay, and perhaps she was to stay at home because she was ill. That's why her mother asked her to help her in polishing those silvers. She was at home, that's why. Now, as she had never asked me before, and her mother, that was the first time when the narrator's mother asked for her help. That was the first time. I asked her which silver she meant and she replied. And then the narrator inquired, the narrator asked her mother which silver she was talking about. Then the mother replied, she meant and she replied. Okay, and then the mother replied, surprised, that it was the spoons, forks and knives, of course. And to the narrator's surprise, when the mother replied and when the mother informed the narrator that the spoons, knives and forks, what they ate with, those were made of silvers. Okay, so this was a great surprise for the narrator. And that was the strange thing, I didn't know the cutlery we ate of every day was silver. And why was that a surprise to the narrator? Because she didn't know. She ate with those things every day. She ate with the spoons, she ate with the forks and knives, but she didn't know that those all things were made of silvers, right? Silver. The girl laughed again. Now the Mrs. Dolling's daughter, she laughed again. When the narrator told everything to Mrs. Dolling's daughter, so the girl laughed. Okay. So this was the example what the narrator gave to the daughter of Mrs. Dolling. Okay, and after listening this, Mrs. Dolling's daughter laughed because Mrs. Dolling's daughter is also not understanding the value of those things, as once narrator was not able to understand the value. Okay, when she came to know that the things, cutlery, what they ate of with, those things were made of silver, then she understood the value of those things. So in the same way here, the girl is laughing. The girl laughed after listening this. I bet you don't know it is either. I looked intently at her. Okay, and then narrator told the daughter of Mrs. Dolling that even she could bet, even that girl, she also didn't know about those things, whether those things were made of silver. Means she told that when narrator informed her that those spoons, forks and knives were made of silver, only then she came to know that those were made of silver. Earlier she didn't know. Okay, the narrator was sure about this and the narrator asked her. Okay, and the girl replied, what we eat with, she asked. The daughter, Mrs. Dolling's daughter, asked, what we eat with? Are you asking about those cutleries? Okay, so the narrator asked her, well, do you know that those things are made of silver? Okay, now she hesitated. She walked to the sideboard and wanted to open a drawer. I look, it's in here. Okay, now the Mrs. Darling's daughter, she, before replying, she hesitated a little bit, okay, and then she walked to the sideboard where those things, those cutleries were kept, forks, spoons and knives, those were kept there in the box. So she went towards that box and she told, I'll see, I'll have a look and then I'll check it whether those are made of silver or not, because those were kept there in the box. I jumped up, I was forgetting the time, I must catch my train. And then suddenly the narrator remembered that she looked at the watch and she remembered that it was the time for her train. Okay, so she jumped up quickly and she told the Mrs. Darling's daughter that she wanted to catch the train and it was the time for her train. Okay, so she made a hurry, she made a haste. She had her hand on the drawer. Don't you want to wait for my mother? Okay, and the girl who was near the drawer, so she had her hand on the drawer, Mrs. Darling's daughter, she had her hand on the drawer, and at the same time she asked the narrator whether she would wait for her mother or not. Okay, so what was the reply of the narrator? Let's see. No, I must go. I walked to the door. The girl pulled the door open. I can find my own way. Okay. Now, the narrator replied, no, I must go because it's time for my train to depart. Okay, so I must go. Okay, and the narrator walked towards the door. Okay, and the girl pulled the door open. The girl pulled the door open to check whether those things were made of silver or not. Okay, and she told, it's okay, if you are going, I can find my way at my own. Means myself I will find those things, whether those are silver, whether those things are made of silver or not. Okay, she wanted to check those things, so she told that she would check those things herself. Okay, now as I walked down the passage, I heard the jingling of spoons and forks. As the narrator was moving out of the house through the passage, so at that time the narrator heard the jingling sound of the spoons and forks, what Mrs. Darling's daughter was creating inside while searching those spoons and forks, while looking at those spoons and forks. At the corner of the road, I looked up at the nameplate, and when narrator went at the corner of the road, at the corner of that street, then she looked at the nameplate, and what was written on the nameplate? Marconi Street, it said, and it was written on the nameplate that street was Marconi Street. I had been at number 46 and narrator was sitting just now. She had been coming from number 46, house number 46. The address was correct and now she came to know. Already she knew that the address where she went, that was correct. Already she knew that thing, but now it was sure, it was confirmed after looking at the street's name. So the address was correct, but now I didn't want to remember it anymore. But now the narrator decided not to remember that address anymore in future. I wouldn't go back there because the objects that are linked in your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value when severed from them. You see them again in strange surroundings. Okay, now she is saying, she is determining to herself that she wouldn't go there, she wouldn't go to that place, to that address again in her life, because the things which were connected to her her lovable people, so now those people didn't exist. Okay, and the memories, the things were connected with her past memories, so she did not want to remember those days and she did not want to upset herself after remembering those old days and her past. So she resolved to go away and to forget those things. And those things had already lost their values because now they were in strange surrounding, what the narrator didn't like. Okay, she didn't want those things to be in such a condition, but she saw those things in that condition, what she didn't like. Okay, now, and what should I have done with them in a small rented room where the shreds of blackout paper still hung along the windows, and no more than a handful of cutlery fitted in the narrow table drawer. Okay, and then she told what would she do with those things in a rented room, in a small rented room. How would she keep all those things, all those belongings of her mother? It would be difficult for her to arrange all those things or to keep all those things in a rented room where she lived. Okay, now she left her house, her own house, and she was living in a rented room which was very small, and that was not perfect for those things. So she decided, and she thought to herself that what would she do with those things if she carried with her. Okay, because she have some handful of cutleries attached to or fixed to her table in her rented room, in her small rented room. So she didn't need all those things, because those things were, there were many things. Okay, a lot of things were there, and there was no place in her rented room to arrange those things. So that's why she resolved to forget those things, okay, and to move ahead. She resolved to forget those things and to move ahead. I resolved to forget the address of all the things I had to forget. That would be the easiest. And then finally, I resolved means she decided. She decided to forget that address, and she also decided to forget about those things. Okay. And that would be the easiest way, that would be the easiest thing in her life. She thought so, because there was no point in remembering those things and remembering the past days, because the past doesn't come back. Okay, now she had to think about her future. She had to lead her life in future. That's why it was easy for her to forget those things, and that would be the easiest way to lead the life ahead. Okay, so this was the chapter, and I felt that this chapter was full of emotions, and definitely you must also have felt the same. Okay, so I hope you all would have understood this very well. Thank you very much.